Hello, welcome to Editor's Take. I'm Viju Cherian, and with me I have Gaurav Chaudhary, the Deputy Executive Editor. Today we discuss about Companies Act and the changes the government intends to bring to the rules of corporate social responsibility. Gaurav, what is the scene at the moment?
The Companies Act 2013 actually mandates certain companies above a certain threshold of revenue and profits to spend at least 2% of their net profits of the immediate preceding 3 financial years on eligible corporate social responsibility activities.
Okay.
And if for instance, for a certain reason that they cannot spend, if money is lying unspent of this fund, of this head, then they have to make a disclosure in the annual report and say that why they could not spend. So they were getting away with it by large number of companies were actually not spending money that they were required to do. The whole idea of bringing this, bringing this rule in the first place in the new Companies Act in 2013 was to force companies to spend on social activities. So that clearly wasn't happening, and that is why the government has now decided to bring about changes.
So at the moment, the Corporate Social Responsibility Fund, they allocated, if they didn't spend it, they just had to write in the report that it was not spent.
Correct. So they just have to make a disclosure in the annual report and say that we could not spend this money because of XYZ reasons. And then it remained at that.
So what are the proposed changes now that the government intends to bring?
So the government is now clearly moving from shifting the onus from sheer explaining that the company is doing to compliance. And how is it going to do that? The government has now said that just a disclosure alone will not do. So companies that do not spend money will have to set aside the unspent money in a special account, which is a dedicated account. And that amount of money set aside in that account, unspent, which is called the unspent corporate social responsibility account, will have to be used immediately in the next 3 years. So that money cannot be used or cannot be plowed back into the company's other activities. And that is how the government is trying to bring more compliance, ensure more compliance, and basically trying to tell companies that this is you have to walk the talk on CSR spending.
So just to get this clarified, if a company does not spend a certain particular amount this year, it has to spend that remaining amount in the next 3 years. This is in addition to the next year's quota.
Absolutely. So the unspent amount of this year will have to be used out in the next 3 years. And first has to be set aside in a special account, and then have to be used in the next 3 years.
That's in addition to next year's CSR allocation.
That's right, yes.
Okay. Why do you think the government has actually brought about this one?
So clearly there were various kinds of reasons that the companies were saying. So there have been instances when some companies actually made disclosure in the annual report, said that we haven't been able to spend make the necessary spend on CSR because we are conducting pilot projects, and if these pilot projects turn out to be successful, on these activities we are going to make the spend. Those are clearly very arbitrary reasons. The government said that no, this is clearly not working. That amount of money needs to be spent on social activities, and there is an eligible list of social activities that can be used for CSR spend. Now the government said there has to be a rule to ensure compliance. So from explaining to compliance, government has said this is the way to go about with compliance. Otherwise the companies will never spend money.
So have they said by when this is going to kick in?
So once the bill is amended, and passed in Parliament, sometime in the winter session, we expect the bill to be passed. It should kick in immediately after that. So probably by April 1, 2019, I think the new rules should be notified.
2019. The government is actually serious about CSR, which is a positive sign. That's all for today. For more news and updates, stay tuned to moneycontrol.com.